into other things, accidents, mistakes. How do we take that into context? Sometimes in our own life, guys, let's look at it the same aspect of anything in our own lives. Okay? We look at our own lives and we have failure over and over again, and we can't seem to get out of the shit we're in. Excuse the language, but we can't seem to get out of it. Okay? Um, we think about it over and over and over again. Why the hell is this happening to me? Why is this happening again and again and again? This is just my life. This is how it's supposed to be. This just sucks. It is what it is, blah, blah, blah. And we get into this. I get into this. We all do. We all do. For me, I used to pick bad people to be in my life. I used to draw in these people that were very negative for me. But because they seem to need me, I feel better for me. I feel better about myself. And therefore, I take on these people that really, guys, at the end of the day, the lesson should be I see them coming and I put my fingers up. I go, no, no, do it your damn self. I don't need to take me down to help somebody else. Make sense? I don't need to keep picking the wrong people to be my partner in life based on a they need me purpose. They don't compliment me. I don't need them in my life. Now that doesn't mean students and friends that need you sometimes. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like myself. You know what? I notoriously picked the wrong type of men to be in my life. That bad boy that hasn't grown up yet. I need the bad boy that did grow up. you know, um, but I found myself attracting the same type of person over and over again. I also did it with friends, the same type of person over and over again. One day I woke up and went, is this a sign? Hey, good morning, Paula. Is this a sign that I'm supposed to just be walked on in this lifetime? Is this a sign that my calling is to be a doormat for everybody? I went, no. When I finally got sick of it and I looked at myself and I went, this is bull. I'm not a doormat. I have self worth. I'm gaining more self worth. I look at myself and go, damn, you know what? You got a lot to give people when you do that. And then you look at the world and go, wait a second. I don't need to bring you, you do not need to be that doormat cat. Do not be the doormat. You start to look at people and go, you know what? That's not my role in life. And I recognized that I was drawing people into me. I was drawing situations into me because they made me feel good. Was I really helping anybody? No. I wasn't helping anybody. I was feeling better about me. Wow. So I had to change that around, guys. I had to change that around. I had to go, wait a second. This does not make me necessarily feel good. Okay. That's not necessarily what makes me feel good. Okay. What makes me feel good, and I will tell you, is when I have students come to me or clients come to me or people in general that come to me and say, wow, you've changed my life. And I look at them and go, wow, thank you for that honor, but I didn't do it. I had tools. I handed you tools. I showed you how to use your tools, but you did the work. That is what makes me feel good, is that I had tools that I was able to pass on to somebody else. And then they took those tools, whether it was to find purpose for their life, find closure within their life, find healing within their life, whatever it was in their life that they needed. And that makes me feel amazing. When not that long ago, not that many years ago, I was that person that wanted to fix your life. I wanted to go in and I wanted to fix it. I wanted to make you, oh, you're so welcome. I don't know who you are, but you were so welcome. Um, I used to go in and try to fix people. I used to go in and try to change people. People would show up at my doorstep, and I thought my job was to change them. No, because I got very stressed. They didn't have anything happen good for them. And most people, honestly, at the end of the day, ran away from me. Why? Because I became a controlling person in their life. I tried to make them do what they needed to do, what I felt they needed to do. When I really found out my true purpose, yeah, it was to do that, but in a different manner. Because I can't force that on somebody else, just like they can't force anything on me. I can't force somebody else to change. Nobody can force me to change. But what I can do is say, hey, you want change? Here you go. Do with it what you want. You can either build a better you or you can build a better house. Or do both. I don't care. But I had to fall on my face a lot, guys. A lot to get to that point to go, oh, wait a second, this is what it is. Now, we'll tell you, even in this journey, even in this amazing journey, I've had a lot of people that have come to me, maybe not a lot, a few, that have come to me after the fact and went, hey, Jen, oh, I appreciate you too, Jen. Thank you. Thank you, love. Now I'm going to see those little hearts and always think about you, just so you know. Um, and so I've had people come into my life that I have done that with. And they come back at you like, oh my God, and they take your tools and they kind of twist their tools. I've had a few of those. And I'll tell you what, sometimes you look at that and it takes you off balance. It takes you off balance, and you go, wait a second. This is where sometimes things will come back at you and go, gosh, am I doing the wrong thing? Am I doing the wrong thing? Because I'm having some of the same situations come back at me. And I have to say no, because I'm not drawing those people to me. I'm not. They see a light, they come, I give them the tools. They do what they need to do with it. Now, if life goes on, okay, if life continues and they turn that into a negative, they turn it into a negative and kind of come back at me. My lesson at that point has got to shine that I've learned my lesson. I need to look at my life and go, I'm no longer allowing these type of people to come in to hurt me anymore. I don't live my life for this type of person. Even if you've been a student or a client or a person on the street I've helped, and they come back at me like, oh my gosh, you did this and that. I put my hand up and I put up a boundary and I go, you know what? My contract with you had nothing to do with me fixing your life. My contract with you had nothing to do with your ego. I've learned that. I've learned that through 50 years of not putting my hand up. It took me 50 years to learn to put up a boundary and to realize that nothing in this universe is creating my existence. Nothing in this universe is making me do anything that I do or do not want to do. But what I can do is put up my hand and put up a boundary and say, you shall not pass. Yes, we are going to the Lord of the Rings. You shall not pass. You shall not get to me. You shall not affect my life anymore because I like my life in a positive manner now. And there's never, and I want to get back to what Neil said, because this doesn't happen by coincidence. This does not happen by accident. When things come up to you, when things come up to you repeatedly, look at the underlining. Look at the underlining and say, what in my life does this resemble? What does this resemble? Has this happened before? Where is my fear in this? Where is my negative feeling in this? Let's get down to what the real fear is. And let's change the fear. Let's let go of the fear. Okay? Let's let it go. Let's push it back. One of those fears, like I've shared with you guys over the years, is my fear of snakes. I have a hard time even saying fear of snakes anymore. Because even though I don't want to hold a snake, and I definitely don't want to own a snake. Okay, let's not go that far. I got a very healthy fear now. It's not this, oh my gosh, stop, drop, roll, and run. Well, no rolling, just running. But I recognize what they are, and they're in my life now. I go garden, I'm like, there might be a snake in here, but I know it's more afraid than I am. So I'm just gonna watch for its tail, or I'm gonna watch for its head. And I'm gonna get out of its way. I'm not gonna run to the other side of the yard, but I'm gonna let it give its time because I know it's fearful of me too. I also know a snake to me represents death. Not all snakes kill though, do they? At least not humans. But I have a past life. I have two past lives where snakes were huge aspects of death for me. So I have to look at that. What is my fear? What is my fear of a snake? My fear of a snake is death. Does it make sense if I live in North Carolina or South Carolina where they got 9 deadly snakes? Makes a lot of sense. Does it make sense when I live in Texas? Maybe. Maybe not so much. Because you know what? They got rattlesnakes, they got copperheads. I know they got some more, but those are two major ones. Got some water moccasins near the water. But literally, when you talk to most people in Texas, they'll tell you, I've never seen a snake. Never seen one. So is my fear a healthy one in Texas? Nope. It's not a healthy fear, is it? North Carolina, South Carolina might be a different state because they get a lot more, but I don't live there either. Okay. And I will tell you, even if I come upon one, I got to go, what's the coincidence in there? What's the reason for this? And I'm not going to say coincidence because there is no coincidence. What's the reason for me coming upon this? What is this? Because I have a fear of this. What is the reason for me to come upon this, look at this, and see this? And then go forward with it. Okay. So today, guys, I want you to look at those things in life. I want you to look at those things that you feel are coincidences, that you feel are accidents, that you feel are so drastically affecting your life. And I want you to look at the root cause of it. Hey, that's Deidre's. That's Deidre's place. But I want you to look at why. I want you to dig down deep and go, why am I allowing this to affect my life? Why am I letting this in to possibly destroy me and all of my happiness? And when you do that, good morning, Stephanie. When you do that, then you can find a solution. And DeEtte's book, The Life Lessons from Snakes. Exactly. But that's where you're going to find your solutions, guys. And then you're going to realize that things do happen in our lives. But sometimes they happen not to stop us, but to open our eyes and go, wow, a deeper understanding, a deeper growth. Okay. So with that being said, guys, there is no coincidences. There is no accidents. Really, all we have is a lot of life purpose. Good morning, Sylvia. A lot of reasons to being, a lot of reasons for growth. Okay. So next week, we're going to use Neil again for something else. I don't even know what. What makes life better? The game of life. Ooh, that would be a big, I think that'd be a whole show, the game of life. Either way, guys, we're going to take a quick station break because I have my new book. And we're going to bring in Deidre Sanford in a little bit. This is DeEtte here on School Through Spirit with WLTKDB.com. See you after the break. I'm dancing, guys. I'm over here dancing. I love the sound to WLTKDB. Can't even tell you. Good morning. Welcome back here to School Through Spirit. I am DeEtte here on WLTKDB.com. Before I bring in Deidre, I want to tell everybody happy Memorial Day. Um, I really want to send out a remembrance to all the vets out there that we have lost while in the line of service. I also want to bring up, guys, and a very special thank you to somebody that wasn't a vet, but I always put in that category, always put in this category. Okay. So I'm going to digress a little bit before I bring in Deidre. And I wanted to send a big thank you out to my sister, Jackie. Okay. She has been gone for over 10 years. But when I think about Memorial Day, I think about her. No, she was never a vet. No, she never served in the military. So I know the whole world is going, why would you think about her? And it's because she is one of the most patriotic women I know. Beautifully patriotic, beautiful person. Not only was she raised in a very patriotic family, but on this day, for many, many years, our grandfather literally was the flag person for Beloit, Wisconsin. And all the flags that used to go out all over Beloit, Wisconsin, all the flags that were all over the town for that went out on Flag Day, he would store in his garage. And every year would go out and take and hang every single flag. And when they were time to come down, he would bring them all down and fold them properly, each and every one of them. And she was born and raised with that all the time because she was raised with our grandparents. And grandma was auxiliary. Grandpa was obviously veteran. My sister was Poppy Princess, the whole 10 yards. Her story didn't continue when they passed away, but her story really continued. And where it came with the vets is because she worked for TSA, DFW, TSA, DFW, Texas. And she was the lead for a terminal down there. And they called her Huggy. And the reason why they called her Huggy was one, yeah, she hugged everybody, but she had a rule. She had a rule. No soldier was allowed to go through her terminal without getting a hug. Goodbye. Because she knew that might be the last hug they ever get stateside, and they deserve that. So she made it her life's mission for 9 years to hug soldiers and gave them each a message that when they returned home, they were supposed to find her and give her the hug first so that she knew they were all safe. Even the USO down there in DFW had to put up a thing that Huggy had passed away because so many soldiers were returning from war and she was not there. So even though she wasn't a soldier, guys, I always put her in that movement because she made so many soldiers that came home and did not come home. That last hug, that last line before they went over with hope and love. So happy Memorial Day to everybody. I don't even want to say happy, just Memorial Day. You know what? To all those that we've lost, all those that stood up for us, all those that, and I know it's the United States holiday, but I really want to say happy Memorial Day to every country out there that has lost soldiers to combat, to war, to whatever, and I want to say thank you to all those people that support hugely and that have passed, maybe not in combat, but are remembered by those soldiers that did live, that have since passed. With that being said, I want to talk about Miss Deidre. Miss Deidre Sanford, again, is a psychic medium. She's phenomenal. She is a root life cause therapist. Her healing is phenomenal. I'm telling you, I'm gonna have to hook up with her one of these times and have it done because I know I got issues. And she's also a host here of Self Care with Deidre Sanford. Let's welcome in Miss Deidre. I can't see her, but I know she's there. Oh my God, she lives. I see her. I can't hear her now because she's muted, but I see her. There she is. I got her. Oh my God, I got her.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Hi, Dove. How are you?
I am well. How are you?
I'm getting better. I'm getting better. This has been a week for me of going, recover.
Good morning,
Lori
Lori.
says, good morning, Deidre.
I see her. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. So, Miss Deidre, let's talk about you. All things
Okay.
Deidre. All things Deidre. So tell everybody about you. Tell everybody.
Oh my gosh. I don't want to start.
The beginning. I
Have
was
been,
born
pardon me?
just I was born plain white woman, the age of that's a good start, sorry. Good
I,
morning, Miss Teresa.
my journey hasn't been that different from so many, we have these experiences in childhood. No one knows how to really support it. And so we back away from it, we hide it, we keep it into ourselves. We make different choices to distance ourselves from, I don't know, the voices, the visions, the information coming in. I went through my addiction cycle. To your point, talking about bringing in the wrong people or trying to help people who aren't really ready to be helped. Cycles of that, cycles of that. And then I just learned, and it's funny because Todd and I had said earlier today before the show, and you guys brought it up. Keith was in saying the same thing. I actually said to somebody once years ago, probably not in the best possible way at the time, if you want to stop being a doormat, get up off the floor.
Yeah.
And in that same moment, I thought, oh, am I talking to this person or am I talking to myself?
Yeah.
So it's been a life of you got to have what you got to have in order to get where you're supposed to be.
Isn't that true?
Yeah,
Isn't that true? Oh my God, that's true words there.
it's
You know,
crazy.
I know it always reminds me of somebody that I was talking to not that long ago about my own worth. And it was crying. And they're like, "Why are you crying?" I'm like, "Because I don't have much self-worth and blah, blah." And this literally was only a few months ago. And
Oh,
I'll
come on.
never be as good as you. I'll never be this. I'll never be that. And they looked at me like, "Oh, for fuck's sakes." I mean, excuse my language. I woke up this morning. I declared I was going to clean up my mouth so I'd sound real professional. I'm really not doing well at this today. But anyway, it took that moment for me to go, wait a second.
Yeah,
Putting you on a pedestal, I demean myself. Wow. I
that's
automatically take my self-worth because I value you so much that I'm gonna put you up here. But
mhm.
because I stand down here looking up to you, boy, I keep myself down, don't I?
That's funny that you brought that up because
Don't tell me you have me on a pedestal.
oh no, I heard your fangirl speech months ago.
Okay, thank you.
Uh, no, what I was going to say is, I years ago would say, "Don't put me on a pedestal because I'll jump off,"
Mhm.
and I had forgotten that I had ever said that to anyone. But the context in which you bring things to us weekly, um, bringing this in today, made me hear that in a whole different way than I think I've probably ever said or heard it before. There's a difference between putting someone on a pedestal and valuing them more than you value yourself,
Mhm.
and appreciating all that that person has shown you, taught you, all the tools they've given you. Um, big difference.
And
Big
see, I'm
difference.
like, you can either bring me off the pedestal and we can walk together,
Yeah.
or put me on the pedestal. I'm gonna yank you up, and then we're gonna look at all the pedestals in front of us, and we're gonna play leapfrog. We're
Mhm.
gonna see who breaks the leg first because we're doing this journey together.
Well, but that's part of what makes you amazing, you and the fabulous teacher that you are for all of your students. And I don't mean just students who are enrolled in your classes. I mean students who come to your show to learn, to hear, to expand through the messages that you bring to us every Monday morning and on Tuesday nights, of course, too.
Then when I show up to Tuesday nights, this show's about you, not about me. Just
Whatever,
so you know.
whatever.
Thank you. But we need to talk about you today. So maybe we'll have a show sometime where I have you jump on and interview me instead. But
Oh, well, come
that
join me.
that would be a
I have
show.
openings in July. Come join me.
There you go. There you go. So I do want to talk about your journey because I know your journey has been. I know the journey just over the last year, and I've seen you go up and down,
Woof.
lots of tears, lots of laughters, lots of trust. I mean, I have personally seen the struggle is real. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah,
And I asked you to come on because I really truly believed you were at a point, and I hope I'm right, that you were like, I can talk about this journey.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Because so many people do talk about, like you said, our journeys are a lot alike. You know what I mean? Everybody's journeys really are similar. We have different people, different characters, different,
mhm,
settings, whatever. But really, when you get to the core of it, it's a lot alike. But I also know for you, your journey is very fresh because it's been like this year. You know what I mean? Of you finding you and your personal growth.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I really wonder, and I know this is raw, and I hope you don't mind sharing this, you know
No,
what I mean? Because you've had a ton of it, but sharing it and letting people know that this journey, this spiritual journey it's not for the faint of heart. You might think, "Oh, we just go to church and we say some Hail Marys and we go home." No, this is
no. Yes, Keith DeEtte is an amazing teacher. And this journey over the last year that she's referring to, she's been instrumental in so many ways. Um, I
I gave
first
you
met,
tools and forced I tied them to your hands, that's all I did. Yours I tied, I will admit, I
yes, you
gave
did.
tools, she tried to give them back, and I duct taped them to her hands, and then I
Mhm,
put vet tape over that,
mhm.
and I didn't even let her pick out her own color. I just cut off the circulations and said, "You're not letting go."
Yeah. Um, but you had to. And the journey is a lifelong journey. Absolutely. You've talked about your journey. We share some things. One I just mentioned is different relationships throughout our lives, learning that they're teaching us about ourselves,
Yeah.
learning the lesson of discernment in that, especially in our personal lives, we're not designed to save, help, heal anyone. We're only responsible for handing them tools. They get to do what they want to with them.
Right.
Um, so the last year, as you said, you duct taped tools to my hands. I tried to wriggle out of them. And you know what? At some point, I finally just took a sigh, held my nose, threw my arms up in the air, and jumped in with both feet. She does, Paula. She certainly tells it like it is. And some days it hurts, but it's what we need.
I
She
told
doesn't.
somebody this morning, Deidre, if Biden dies, I hope I literally said, and God bless Biden, I don't want him to die, but I literally told somebody this morning, if Biden dies, you better not take on that responsibility.
Yeah.
I said, because that
Wow.
man's carrying a lot on his shoulders and nobody needs that.
Oh, man.
So God
I
bless
can't.
him. I'm not threatening. I'm not meaning anything. I want him to live a very, very long time. But it was the same concept. Hey, you know,
When we put our feet on this path with intention to be on the path, everything changes. And really, everything has to change because we're not here to help others through our judgment. We can assist by sharing our lessons. And although lessons may be very similar, they're very individual. So we can share what we've learned, we can share our experiences, but how those with whom we work choose to internalize that is entirely on them.
hmm
Um, yeah, when you make doing this work a conscious choice, and you warned us, your life turns upside down and inside out. And all you can do is jump in, hang on, and look for the lessons.
hmm
Um, I don't know. I'm sure you had something in particular that you wanted to draw out.
well, well, you
But
know what is the difference? The biggest thing is because yours. I mean, granted, you know, as everybody knows, your journey started years before you met
what?
me.
Yeah,
Years before you met me. But when you met me, you went, you know what? This is what I want. This is what I want going forward. I want to jump in with 2 feet. Let's do this.
and
You
then I
know,
ran away.
and then you
That
ran away.
was
But
that was like 6 years ago, Diet.
okay, you came back. Um, what is the difference between you a year ago and now? A
Oh,
year
wow.
ago of consciously starting to put this, you know, because people don't realize I tell people I live a spirit filled life, which means
Mhm.
I live with spirit. I work with spirit. I listen to spirit. I argue with spirit. I don't always do what I'm
Oh,
supposed
yeah.
to do. And then spirit goes, haha, you're going to do that twice or 5 times, whatever it might be. You know what I mean? But my life is, I'm dramatically changed. And as they give me lessons, I continue to change. So,
Yeah.
what is the difference of you, you know, a year ago where you weren't living a spirit filled life and you weren't living a conscious difference to what you are today?
I think conscious is the word you just took right out of my mouth. Um, I now consciously choose to ask for help from
Oh,
spirit. I consciously choose to ask for the information. Hey, I'm standing at a crossroads. I have this decision. I have that decision. And well, right up until yesterday morning, right? I
mhm.
had a decision. I had a choice I could make. And I made my choice. And I went and I carried out some of the steps to make that choice to come to fruition. And I got in the car and I started to come home and I felt heavy. And I thought, oh man, I wasn't listening. I didn't allow myself to choose what felt light and open. I'm
Mhm.
aware of it more in the moment
Yeah.
or very shortly thereafter. I don't have to wait to be turned completely upside down and inside out in other ways that bring on anxiety and sadness and days of what feels like depression and torment over having made a life choice or a daily choice that didn't pan out the way that I had hoped that it would.
Right.
Like you said, we still argue with spirit. We're like, I ain't doing that.
Mm.
But the information is there for me to choose between
Right.
what I think is best and what spirit is saying. No, this is your opportunity. This is where you need to go. This is the choice.
I love that.
It gets easier.
It does.
Life gets easier when you start paying attention to what you're hearing, seeing, feeling.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I'm always a firm believer that when you get that feeling in here and you're like, God, I don't want to make that choice. I don't
Mhm.
want to make that choice. I don't want to make that choice. But you force yourself into that choice. I don't, nope, I think he's outside here. We got a missing grandson. He'll show up, don't worry. Um, he always shows up. But I'm a firm believer that even though we have to make some of the really, really hard choices in
Mhm.
here, when you go through them, you find out the choice maybe wasn't as hard as you thought it was going to be, and
Yeah,
life might be a lot easier on the other side.
absolutely.
Yeah,
On the other side of transition,
yeah.
been through a lot of transitioning this year
You
myself. My father passed away, and this wasn't
you've
my
had father,
biological.
you've had friends, you've had
It's crazy.
yeah,
Yes. One of them showed up to me, well, my friend who passed away.
yeah,
I became concerned on Tuesday, kind of let it roll because they're a very private person. They were, probably still are. Very private person. And I could tap on the door, but this was also a teacher and a mentor who had become like family to me. So I was really resistant to just follow my gut, right?
I
And
remember that, yeah,
pound on doors. And that morning they showed up knocking on glass. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? And I knew before I left the house, I knew what had already happened. I knew he'd already transitioned.
right.
Yes, there was
You
some anger
called
and
me that morning.
frustration.
Yep,
Um,
you called me that morning, I
I
remember
was
that.
just going to say, I called you, and there was some anger and frustration with myself
Mhm.
for not having acted sooner. I don't know that my acting any sooner would have changed the outcome of anything,
Probably
but
not.
it certainly would have let him know that I was still here, I still cared, and that I was concerned. And I lost that opportunity at that time to show that concern.
Mhm.
But I've been able to show it since then, and they knew anyway.
And that's just it because I remember that us talking that morning and you're going, "DeEtte, I've known, my intuition was telling me." And I'm like, "But we're gonna find out when you get there. He's been gone as many days or as much time as you've been thinking about him."
Yeah.
And it was just that initial intuition was, he's letting you know I've left.
Mhm.
He was
Listening,
probably already gone when you got the first hit.
mayhaps.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's huge. That's hard. That's really hard to go, wow, could I have made a difference? Probably not.
No.
But your intuition was saying this was happening.
Mhm. So learning to pay attention, learning to follow my information, my gut instinct, what spirit is telling me unabashedly. And that can still be hard in daily life from time to time.
Yeah.
Working with clients is a whole different arena, I think, because I know that that is my role, to share what I'm getting, to talk about that, to tease out the information I have in a way that my client's going to be able to be receptive and then we can work together. Um, but it's a major, excuse me, it's such a big difference.
Yeah.
Open, being open, remaining open, not shutting down. And I shut down now in a different way.
Mhm.
Instead of closing off to everyone and everything and hiding by myself in my room and feeling all of the anger and frustration and whatever yuck is coming up, yeah, I still feel the stuff. It's
Right.
essential. We can't move through it unless we experience it.
Right.
But the questions I ask myself now are different. What is this situation or this person showing me about myself that I don't like,
Mhm.
that I need to work with, a step towards shadow work,
Right.
which is so essential, but we can't do it 100% on our own because we're still processing through our filters when we do some of that work.
Right.
Um, and I get to look at that and I get to say, ooh, yeah, I don't like that about me and I need to work on that. Or I can say, maybe, but what else can I learn?
Yeah. So is that what root cause therapy is about? Let's talk about that because you're a root cause therapy person.
I am.
And it's you're like, "I am," and that's
I
a
am.
lot. If you think about that, I mean, I don't know what it all talks about, but when I hear root cause therapy, I'm thinking, shadow work from hell.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
that's what
Oh, yeah.
use
There's
it, but
tissue.
that's what I hear in my head, like, "No, I don't wanna do this no more, and you're gonna make me do it." I'm
But
like,
that's the
"Dude."
fun part is
Oh, that's
I
the
don't
fun
want to
part?
do this no more. I don't want to stand in my own way anymore.
Right.
I want to understand why I'm standing in my own way.
Mhm.
I always tell my clients, come hydrated, bring a box of tissues, and this work is not for the faint of heart.
Right.
So my favorite clients are the ones that hear that and they go, give me more. Let's do this. Because it is life-changing work. And in order to get my certification, I had to go through the process. I had to be a client. And that was part of Dark Night of the Soul. Yeah, a little bit, Keith, a little bit, but with more tips and tricks along the way.
Mhm.
um, that's part of why I got to where I could do the work that you and I have done.
Right.
So I had amazing tools. So with root cause therapy, my clients come to me and they're like, I don't know, I want to achieve X. I want to have Y in my life. And every time I try, I get this close and everything falls apart. Okay, let's talk about self-sabotage, but let's not because that's a really negative phrase. That's a phrase that makes us all raise our hackles.
Mhm.
So let's look at why. There are some similarities if you think about manifestation, the law of attraction, you need to be vibrating at that space of what you want to bring in.
Mhm.
That's such a difficult concept for so many of us to wrap our heads around. So, what is it within you or me that's resisting this change we want to bring about?
Mhm.
And since you brought up self worth earlier today, let's
Talk
try
about
that one.
Let's try it.
Let's try
Try
it.
to
Let's
hear
do it.
somebody else.
No, I'm not throwing it on anyone today. This the first session is a really long session, and
Oh
there's a lot
boy.
of work and there's a lot of fun too.
Right.
But if self worth is the issue,
Mhm.
we're going to go work with your subconscious or unconscious mind.
Okay.
You're going
Let's
to
do
think
it.
about the fact that only 5% of our choices, actions, emotions, thoughts are driven by our conscious mind.
Right.
Everything is run by our
Mhm.
subconscious. So let's go talk with the subconscious and find out where did my belief that I don't have worth come
Mhm.
from? Is it
Yeah.
from a past life? Is it from your present life? Was it before, during, or after birth?
Yeah. Oh,
And
I
then,
know. I know where mine came from, so
do you?
oh, yeah, mine came actually from the womb.
Yeah.
Yep,
And
mine
that's
came from
exactly that's funny because I was just going to say it's that during birth
mhm.
that makes clients go, wait, I'm not sure I know what that means. It's okay. Your unconscious or subconscious mind, your innate self, your soul knows what that means.
Right.
But yeah, those 9 months in the womb, that
Mhm.
moment in
Yeah.
the delivery room, the reactions of the people in the delivery room, specifically mom and dad,
Right.
those can affect how we perceive ourselves forever, but we don't know that.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
I
Well,
used
like, I do know mine. It was like, my mother was pregnant in high school. Did she
Mhm.
try? No. Was it a man that she was deeply in love with? Maybe at the time. You know what I mean? But gosh, still, scared. 1970s, early
Oh
1970s. I mean,
man.
can you imagine the fear? I can't imagine the fear she had. I can't imagine the self-doubt she had. What am I going to do with my life? Did I just
Right.
mess my life up? Did I not? Oh my gosh, I got to get married because that's what all that comes, and you know what? Nobody realizes that when you have a baby in here, that baby's taking on all mommy's feelings.
Yep.
They and mommy's not trying to do that because
No.
gosh, no mom wants their baby to feel that, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
So, but it's all natural feelings. It's all 110% natural. Oh my gosh, you know what? I know
Mhm.
what my mom was feeling. I get it. Doesn't mean she didn't love me. Doesn't mean
Right.
she didn't want me, but it came with a lot. I'm 18. I'm not even a high school graduate yet, and I'm gonna marry a loser. That she didn't know was a loser at the time, you know what I
Right.
mean? And whatnot. Had to get married to turn into a loser, but it is what it is, you know?
Uh-huh.
So, but yeah, I know where my initial self-worth came from, and I know I've fought that my whole entire life, but it wasn't until I did some work that you do, you know, a type of root cause therapy
Mhm.
that I found that went, "Ah, damn.
Are you talking about past life
Oh,
regression?
yeah."
Yeah. So in root cause therapy, one of the things they teach us as we're going through our certification process is don't call yourself or don't say that we're doing past life regressions.
Right.
We do,
Mhm.
but in the form of timeline travel.
Yes.
So
And
we
that's
can
how
go
I did
back.
mine initially. Yeah.
Yeah, we can go back and drop back into that past event. I had a past life regression session too, and I learned so much. But
Mhm.
I feel like there's a step that we use in root cause therapy that is not part of past life regression. Past life regression, from my experiences, I went back and I saw the experience
Mhm.
and I just kind of looked around and understood how I felt and what happened. And then I came back.
Yep.
We're going to hang out
Exactly
there
what it is.
longer. We're
Yep.
going to hang out there longer in root cause therapy. And we're going to use somatic exercises. We're going to identify the emotion, find where it is in the body. We're going to turn it up as high as we can and
Mhm.
just sit with it
Right.
until it starts coming down on its own. And we're going to release those emotions
I love that.
because the emotions of that moment are what's
So
clouding the lens.
so how do you do that when you do that? Because I know, like, with mine, I've done past life regressions,
Yeah,
which and hypnosis, which I
yeah,
love it. I'm an addict. Actually, I haven't had it in quite some time. So, but when I have an issue, I go there. You know what I
mhm,
mean?
yeah,
And to find it whether it's past life or this life or whatever. But I know for myself when I can't even tell you what it was. It was like get a free session, do this, blah blah blah, and that's where I found mine. I have no clue. I it might have been bars. I think it might have been bars. I'm not quite sure what it was. Anyway, like for myself going through it, it was like they asked a series of questions until we got to it. And in my head, all those questions were going to lead me to daddy. I have daddy issues. My daddy's a jackass. I mean, my dad, if he was still alive, he'd tell you he's a jackass. You know what I mean?
mhm,
He's a great guy now he's dead. He's like my best friend. He's awesome. I'll tell you, I got the best dad in the world. He had to die to get
mhm,
there, but booyah, he's awesome. Anyway, I thought I had daddy issues for obvious reasons. Okay, right in the book. You can read it in the book why I would assume that. But really, when all those questions came about, they went down to I had womb issues. And
mhm,
I went, "Whoa." So it was a series of questions that just kept going, and then, and then,
and then,
then, and
yeah,
then, and then. So is that how it works with root cause therapy too?
it is and it isn't.
Okay,
Um,
bring it on. Let me hear it. Tell me.
I lead the session.
Okay.
My clients do the work, and my clients do the work at the subconscious level. So I do ask questions. The main questions I ask are what emotion comes up? Where are you feeling it? Can we turn that emotion up? Once we've cleared the emotion, we do that with as many emotions as our client identifies. Let's
Right.
clear that lens because we already know the emotional process that we go through as people clouds our lens and we can't see the truth.
Right.
So we're going to clear that lens. And then we're going to ask the sub or unconscious mind of ourself in that moment, what's the truth?
Right.
So I had a client who didn't think she was loved.
Okay.
And her father made jokes about how much she wanted a son.
Mm,
She was a girl. So from 9 months in the womb to the moment she popped out and he held her the first time, oh, I don't have a son. That was the moment, and that's the one where my mediumship skills came in.
Well, that's
And
okay. Bring
and
it in.
dad popped in and said, "Oh," and explained things, and we talked about it. So, thanks, Teresa. Um, I do ask those questions, but the questions are led by what the client's unconscious or subconscious mind is feeding back. What happened in that event? What's the emotion? Now, what's the truth?
Right.
We go into lots of different types of events, and some of them can be potentially big emotion evoking. So we do have a safety button that we can build in for clients that they can press, typically on the hand, that they can press to bring themselves back to the moment, but
Right.
stay in their meditative state to go through the process. So there's
Mm.
that safety button there. But once once we get out of those emotions and we can see the situation more clearly and more objectively, we can see that some of these limiting beliefs that we have aren't ours, were
Mhm.
formed based on our perception of something that was happening outside of us with someone else. And we can see that person in the situation so much more clearly. We can
Right.
say, oh, it wasn't about me. It was about this person's control issue, or this person was hiding that. And I mistook the statement as about me, but it was about them.
Right.
And we bring those lessons back up into the current time in the timeline session.
Okay. Okay. I love that.
Did
That
that, did that answer your question?
it did, and I
Good.
appreciate that because 'cause I'm like, "Wow, that ends up being pretty wow."
Yeah.
You know what I
That,
mean? It really does. I
that,
mean, to see, I can imagine the emotional roller coaster. The
good.
emotional like, you walk in going, "Oh, I feel a little heavy. I know I need to be here," but really you're walking out going, "She beat me up. Oh my god." You know what I mean? Like, I was gonna go for tacos tonight and screw that, I just want margaritas now instead. How many sessions does a person usually need is what Lori's asking. And
That's a
then
great question, Lori. Thanks. It really depends on what my client's objective is.
okay.
So I think most of us, most of your viewers already know that the United States isn't hugely receptive to complementary healing modalities. As
Right.
far as like our insurance doesn't pay for so many of them, and it took years to get even chiropractic and acupuncture covered by health insurance.
Right.
Um, excuse me, the Center for Healing in Melbourne, Australia, offers the certification for the program, and it ran as a walk-in or appointment clinic in
Mhm.
Melbourne for years. And mostly they treated addiction and mental health issues.
Okay.
Talk therapy is amazing, and there is some talk therapy built into this, but it depends, Lori, to answer your question, it depends on what the client wants to work on. So if we're working on something like self-worth, if we're working on emotional spending issues, relationship with self, that can be one session. It can be 3 sessions. When we deal with something a little bit stronger and heavier in our lives, like addiction,
Mhm.
6 weeks, once a week for 6 weeks. It really depends, and it's really guided by by the clients.
Mhm. And I think I mean, to myself, I would be like, "Okay, it how open are you to this? Are you willing
Sure.
to walk in and go" you know what I mean? And it might take a couple of sessions, but my thought is if you have somebody walking in going, "I don't know what this is. I can think I know what this is, but I you know what? I'm just here's my heart. Do what you gotta do with it. Let's make this work." I'm thinking that would take less sessions than somebody that
Right,
is like, I don't wanna deal with this."
right. Here's the thing. We all have a conscious idea, or we all have an idea in our conscious mind of what we want to work on.
Mhm.
What if that's not really what you need to work on? What if you're standing in your own way and identifying the issue that you want to get to the root cause of?
Right.
We eliminate that.
Mhm.
And that's part of the separation between talk therapy and this kind of work.
Yeah.
Part of the first session when we sit down and talk together about, what goal is it you have that you're not able to reach or maintain once you get there, you fall off your effort. It doesn't take as much effort after the work. We're going to do sway testing. So we're going to ask your body, what's the truth of the statement? Is it yes or is it no? With the client we were just talking about who didn't believe she was loved and had very little self-worth, it's when you say the statement, I am loved,
Mhm.
your body is going to either lean into, yes, I am, or pull away from the statement of, I am loved. It's a negative for you.
Right.
For her, she leaned forward, and that's when her father stepped in. And as soon as she leaned forward into the statement, I am loved, she started crying because that's not the response that she expected from her body.
Right.
So those are the things that we work on, the things our body tells us. Let's work on this. And as you can imagine, our limiting beliefs can be tied to each other. If you go into a situation believing you don't have any self-worth and you don't have a pleasant experience because of that belief, you might pile on more beliefs.
Right.
I'll never get better. I'll never be able to do this. I'll never be able to shine. I'll never be able to grow. Once we really are working at root cause, we can eliminate exponential things that are standing in the way. So the rule of thumb is we can consciously choose to work on up to three limiting beliefs per session.
Okay.
My client's body will tell us when we're done. Sometimes it's just after one because it was some really deep, heavy work.
Right.
Maybe we'll clean up two or three other ones attached to that one, though.
So
With
can you
clients,
do this online or does it have to be in person?
most of my sessions are done by Zoom.
Really?
Yeah. With the energy work, in any respect, energy work, um, psychic readings, mediumship readings, Reiki, pranic healing, uh, that can all be done online as well.
Right.
Because, universal energy, we're all one, everything is tied together. So the one-on-one conversation is important and essential to developing the safety, the trust, the rapport, and the understanding
Right.
of what we're going to work on. That first session is a long one. The first session is the chat, the discovery, rating where our emotions are. And that's one of the fun things about this as well. We'll sit down on session one and we'll rate where are my emotions in my life on a scale of 1 to 10.
Right.
And then come the third session, we're going to rate those again with the understanding that things change daily anyway.
Right.
And that last session is fun because the last session has a future healing. We're going to go visit what your unconscious mind can show you about the future in your timeline.
Love that.
And we've cleared limiting beliefs. So you get an opportunity to get a glimpse of things to come for you that you just never dreamed you'd be able to achieve.
I love that. She helped me heal over 5 lifetimes. One was over 100 lives ago. I love that.
Oh, hi, Dee.
Put that up there. I can't even read today. I love that.
Teresa is one of the testimonials on my website, and I appreciate the fact that she was willing to step forward and say, hey, I did this work.
I love that. Okay, what is your website? Because I went looking into your Facebook. It's not there, and it should be there.
It should be there.
It's not
My
there.
website is my name. It's DeIDrel Sanford, SAN, F as in Frank, ORD as in David. And as I spell that out one more time, kind of makes me feel like we're going to have to change the name of that website. Thank you, Todd.
Just go down to DeEtte. Just
Just
go down to DeEtte. I'm learning I mean, you can do whatever you want, but this went from a girl that went from DeEtte, and I used my last name, to DeEtte Ranae, which is my middle name. I've gone down to just DeEtte. And when I can afford to pay Todd to redo my website, you know what I mean? Or change all
right.
that, it's going down to DeEtte.com. Call it a day.
There you go.
But that's going to take a little bit. He just can't magic wand being done. You know what I mean? So
He's amazing.
he flipping is. I mean, people don't even know. People
No.
don't even know. And I mean, I'm going to tell you guys, if you don't believe in, oh my God, hiring a website designer, go look at mine, DeEtteRenae.com. Todd did the magic of mine.
Mhm.
Matter of fact, I know we're waiting for my newest photo shoot to come in so I can hand him all those pictures. And he's like, upgrade. I'm like, upgrade, let's do this. But go look at my website, because I'll tell you what, Todd, the producer here, is a website god.
Yep.
He is so phenomenal.
It's so clean. It's so warm. And organized. It's beautiful.
Oh, isn't it though? I'll tell you what, I can't preach enough about Todd and how.
Yeah.
And he probably stepped away to go get coffee, so he's not hearing any of this.
No.
But he's a rock star. I got busted. Oh, thank you both.
No, Todd, thank you for being
Yeah,
amazing.
exactly. Because
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, Again, go look at my website. But here's Deidre's. Deidre will be changing hers down to Deidre.com very soon.
Well, I don't know. Even DeEtte has so many spelling variations. It's difficult.
That's all. How
Yeah.
many DeEttes do you think? Do you know what I found not that long ago?
But
My name is DeEtte Ranae, right?
yeah.
I got multiple messages one day. Somebody has hacked you, somebody's cloned you, blah, blah, blah. And it's DeEtte Renee, Renee, though. So I literally messaged them, our
Oh,
names are similar. They went, yes, it is. And that was the end of that.
oh boy.
Well, they're not trying to be a medium, so we're good. And I'm not trying to be them. It's just, who would have thought?
Right.
Do, do,
Ugh,
move me out there. No, no, thank you.
good
You're still
grief.
with me. I'm still unique.
You know, I have you and your skills that you've shared with me and the tools that you've given me to help to thank you. I have you to thank for, yes,
Just for the
a
tools.
lot of that development and giving me the tools, forcing on me the tools to help myself and
Right.
to help my clients
Yeah.
because there's just no way for me to be working in someone's energy field
So
and not get information. I've learned
how did you bring all the mediumship into all that?
it just happened.
Okay.
I can't separate the two. I could, but why? Then I'm not bringing my whole self to the table when I work with the client. And my clients deserve to have everything that's in my arsenal shared with them. So there are psychic readings that happen, especially during discovery as we're talking
Mhm.
about what you want to work on. When I choose limiting beliefs that we're going to test, I oftentimes just get fed the statement from spirit and I just spit it out of my mouth. And oftentimes it ends up being what my client chooses to work on that day. And then, of course, the mediumship portion. And
Yeah.
I know we've talked before about Reiki being an early part of your journey.
Yeah.
It was part of mine as well.
Oh, I love
And as I work with my clients in the timeline portion of a session, I can journey with them. I can sometimes actually see the event. And as they're working to release the emotion from their system, yeah, they're processing it. I don't do the work.
that. Mhm.
I kind of watch over them and keep them tethered and safe. Um, but I can help clean up some of the residual energetics that are sitting in the physical form by bringing in my energy work into the session.
Love that.
But the mediumship, being open to hearing what spirit is sharing with me on behalf of the client, that is 100% attributable to the work that you've led me through to get to where I am.
And I love that because I always tell people when we first start, not beginners, because beginners, everybody's just trying to figure out what they are. But literally, I always tell people when you start to get into the advanced classes, you start to find out who you are. You
Yeah.
start to find at least the path you are on for right now, because those paths will change. They will always change.
Mhm.
But and I never learned that as much as I did with my first advanced class I went through, because I had a phone psychic, I had an animal communicator, I had somebody that was
Yeah.
much better with hauntings than she was with a mediumship any day. You know what I mean? I mean, just the spectrum from left to right was like, wow. You know what I mean? Mediumship is just really, I always used to say like Reiki was a gateway drug. Well, I think
Right.
mediumship is another gateway drug. You know what I mean?
It is.
Because it gets you to go, wait a second. And I don't know if you felt this within yourself, but it's like, okay, psychic and mediumship work. I'm believing, I'm going to believe you to teach me about something I can't see, something I can't feel, something I can't hear, something I can't know about, because it's completely freaking invisible to me. And you're going to teach me that I can tap into that. Yes, I
Right.
am. And it's real and it's tangible and it's all these. Yes, I'm going to teach you to do that.
Mhm.
And I do believe that once start people go, wait a second, this crap's real. All of a sudden they start to go, wait a second, what else is real in here? What else can I do? What else is there? And they start to unlock what they've been told they can't do their whole lives to whatever it is. And it
Mhm.
might be maybe you do psychic mediumship a little bit on the side, but maybe your gifts are to help you in your root cause. You know what I mean? And they're just making you that much better of a healer because you're going, wow, I can really do this now. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And I'm watching people do this going, and I always tell people in my classes, there's only going to be one or two of you that are going to go on to just do readings.
Mhm.
And that sounds like bad, just do readings, because readings are huge.
Readings are amazing.
They are, but not everybody is that going to be their main focus.
Right.
You know, we had somebody on here, Jen Pepak, who's on here. She was on
She's
earlier.
amazing.
Jen's a rocks. Oh my God.
Oh, man.
Jen is a phenomenal animal communicator.
She is.
She's certified under me. She is one of my certified. She's one of my best certifieds. I mean, not that they're all aren't amazing. I do say that about everybody. Sorry, Jen. But I do because I believe in each one of them so beautifully. But Jen came through and she goes, "Can I just be an animal?" Yes, you can be an animal. Yes, and you're a rock star at it. And it's okay. So I love the fact that because you're getting close to the end of your class. I mean, we still have certification if you choose to go through certification.
Absolutely.
But have you found this journey to go, wow, who am I? Wow,
Mhm.
what am I? You know what I mean?
Well, it's almost inexplicable for me anyway. It's really hard, I think, for us as individuals to sit back and say, wow, I've changed here, 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 and here
Right,
because of the work that we did together,
right.
because of your mentorship, because of your care and concern. But in daily things, maybe not so much in big overall pictures, but in daily things, I can certainly see where my approach is different, where my processing is different. My self-worth is better. My self-confidence is better. And yes, those are two very different things. It took me a while to figure that out. My willingness to open my mouth, even when I'm talking to customers at the store, my willingness to say, oh yeah, well, no, I'm a psychic medium. It's
Right.
like, oh, well, wow, you didn't have to come into until 2 today. You had all day to relax. No, I've been working since 6 o'clock this morning. You
Mhm,
have. And then we get to talk about the business. I'm saying to people, this is what I do.
mhm.
This is not just what I do, but it's who I am.
Yeah.
That's one of the greatest gifts that we get from working with you is to be able to say that, to be able to put into practice the things that we learn, the self-knowledge, the self-understanding. Um, huge, huge, huge.
And I think it's a belief in yourself.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah. That
Um,
was, but that was the one that I fought the hardest, and I still have moments, of course. It wouldn't be normal if I didn't.
oh, 110%. You know, 110% if you think about it. It's like, and I think that changes all the time.
Mhm.
You know, I think that changes all the time. Like, you know,
I ran into well, I was with somebody a couple of weeks ago who has perfected the art of needling me, of pushing me to the point of I'm going to blow up now in front of 10 or 15 other people, and now I'm going to look like the idiot. And I had learned about that process and had been told in 2010 that because I can see and understand the pattern, I'm in control.
okay.
That was a game changer. It didn't mean that I didn't still stomp away.
Right,
It didn't mean that I didn't react and have some tell, right, that the game worked. But
right,
most recently, I was able to just let it go, let it go, let it go. And then when my body started to go into contraction, I could identify it almost immediately.
right.
And I could say, I'm out
Mhm.
and walk away, but walk away, not stomp, not pout, not your body language telling everything. Just walk away.
Yeah.
That's not mine. I can't fix that,
Yeah,
but I can fix this.
exactly.
And I can process it differently. I can walk away from the ranting person in the grocery store who's really not even ranting about the thing in the moment that they seem to be reacting to. They're reacting to something else. Oddly enough, even though I'm not plugged in, so to speak, the open sign's not on, I get the info.
Right.
Doesn't mean I need to share it. It means it's a reinforcement for me that this is not about you. This is about their stuff. And you
Mhm.
just walk away. It's like huge for me in customer service, right? In
Mhm.
customer service, we're supposed to take it and play to it and placate I'm sorry, I can no longer help you today, sir, but let me find someone who can.
Right.
because I'm not here for that anymore. Doormat, circle. I don't want to be a doormat. I don't choose to be a doormat, and I no longer allow myself to be a doormat.
I love that.
Doesn't have to be in a forceful way
Mhm.
announcing my decision. The only person who needs to know that I'm no longer open to being a doormat is me.
Right.
And because I understand that differently now, I can just stand in my own energy, my own power, my own truth, and simply choose differently.
I love that.
Yeah. So do I.
I love that. That is so amazing. That is so amazing. Um, Rose says, "Wow, just stumbled onto this, and it's exactly what I need to take look into classes." I want to put that up there because thank
Yes.
you,
Oh, you
Rose.
should.
Rose, for my classes, I'm gonna put Deidre's back up there. But if you're looking at my classes,
Yes.
I'm just gonna put my website up there because I'm not sure which classes you're talking about. So,
Well, you have a summer beginners class that
I
you should.
am gonna do a summer beginners. Somebody asked me to. Anyway, yeah. So I am gonna do a summer's beginners and obviously a summer intermediate because they're just right into it. And if they want to go in advance, we'll do that. So Rose, there's my website, DeEtteRanae.com. It's gonna stay in the comments here, Rose. It's under the WLTKDB logo. There is that. And I'm gonna put Deidre's back up here. I lost it all the way up here. Deidre's is right here, Rose. If you're looking at with her, and her root cause therapy and her mediumship also. So, because I really want to highlight Deidre today because she's freaking amazing and I love her. So those are both of them. Um, I love it. I love it. I love it. So, what do you have coming in the near future? What do you have coming, darling?
Well, I'm always open for scheduling on my website for private readings, for
Thank
root cause therapy sessions, for a free consultation to find out if root cause therapy is right for you. Today is the beginning of June. So on July 1st, I will be joining all of you at Broadhead Manor at the fundraiser. I was invited to come and play with you all, and it's going to be so much fun. I
I'm gonna
can't
have a
wait.
blast.
What a great cause and an
And
amazing
I'll be back
community.
from Mexico. My tattoo will be finished.
Yay!
Do you want to peek?
Ooh.
Can you tell what it is yet, guys? Other
that
than being a cover up?
Is it a phoenix?
No, it's a raven.
Well, duh, that was a stupid question, Deidre.
So
I know better than
all
that.
the way down here,
I can't see
all the
him.
way up, and here's his body. And I don't know if I can get close enough for you to see his face.
Ooh.
Once he's done, and of
Oh,
course, we have to have my 9 3/4 because I'm a Harry Potter
I
buff.
love it. I
So
cannot wait to see that in person. It's beautiful.
I will be showing that off in a month
So let's see.
because it's one more session. Hopefully,
wait.
just one more session, and
Ugh.
it'll be completely done.
It's like mini acupuncture sessions that go on forever.
This is
So we have,
acupuncture, guys. This is acupuncture. No.
you just go to your Reiki
It
place.
hurts. I just look after like, I know, 4.5 hours. I looked at her, I said, I'm starting to get a little tender. She's like, tender? Getting sensitive.
I did that. Oh, I
She's
remember
looking
that
at me
feeling.
like, are you tapping? Not tapping. Just say it's starting to get sensitive. And she's like, I'm going to tap you out. I can't do it
I'm not going to
no
admit it. You're going to
more.
have to admit it for me. Yes.
You're
I
gonna have to-
remember that with my big back one.
Yes. Oh, my back is, well, I'm going to add more to it though. So
Not there's something else going on. I'm hitting up some of the paracons. I'll be out walking around doing the shake and howdy. I'm not necessarily vendoring at all of them,
that's okay.
but I am going. And then in September, I'll be at the Illuminate Festival in Naperville. And then
Ooh,
the
what date is
following
that, by
week,
the way?
I'll be at the Illuminate Festival in Bloomington, Illinois. I
I
am
gotta
not
go to
just
those.
doing table reads, I'm doing workshops.
I love that. I
Super
need to show up
excited.
and do those.
Yeah.
I need to
Come
show up.
join us.
I need to join you guys and Judy. I miss
Yeah.
Judy.
Yeah.
You
She's
know,
amazing.
Judy is awesome.
I'm working on putting together an online workshop.
Oh,
that-
look at you
Yeah, I'm
go,
super
girl. Rose,
excited.
there you go. There's your workshop online.
I had a friend recently post about being exhausted from peopling, and I was looking at all of the comments from other people on that thread, and I thought, let's do this. We're going to do a workshop, and we're going to talk about shielding and grounding and bubble up buttercup. And I put that in quotes when I say it.
I love that. Bubble up,
how-
buttercup. That's my thing.
That's your line.
Stop and roll for me, please. Bubble up
Christina and I were talking about that on another show, and we used to call it turtling up.
butter.
I like bubble up buttercup, but
Bubble
it's
up
a kind of
buttercup.
phrase. I gotta put it in quotes when I use it.
Yes. I love that phrase. I love it. I love it. I love it.
So keep your eyes and ears open. The
Mhm.
Facebook page is Deidre and Friends. That's the business page. The website will have the information as well, but we're going to make it an Eventbrite, super affordable, 90 minutes. Let's get in, let's get out, let's figure out how you can help yourselves keep from getting so overwhelmed and inundated.
Did I do this right? Deidre and Friends?
You did. It's actually the ampersand, but yes, it's Deidre and Friends.
Screwed it up, guys. But close.
You didn't screw it up.
There's no screw ups. There's no.
You'll find it.
You're going to find so many ways to Deidre. It's not even funny. And all roads lead to Deidre. All roads lead to the D's. Double D's. Sorry. I thank you so much, Deidre, for coming on and just sharing you and all that you do. Oh my gosh, to see how you have just explored you has been awesome. And I hope everybody comes to watch Deidre Wednesday morning, 10 a.m. Is that correct? 10 a.m.
Wednesday morning, 10 a.m. This week, we are bringing in a new reader to join the
Who's
show.
the new reader?
On self-care. Jill Snyder is going to join me this week.
Jill! Oh my God, Jill's awesome.
She's
amazing. In August. I love Jill.
We're also going to talk about bringing spirit into your everyday life and your career and how that works.
Oh, this is going to be.
I don't think she knows that yet, but cats are out of the bag now.
Yeah, this is going to be guys. You're going to want to watch Jill. I mean, you have a monthly reader, Lori Brood, on there, which is that's always mind blowing. You guys don't know this, but I sit back and I watch you guys.
No, we know.
Every once in a while, I jump on with a question. Really, come here. So somebody
Lori
wants
and I are.
Here's the cat out of the bag for everybody.
Good morning, Addie. How are you?
You say hi, Deidre.
Hi, Deidre.
She got ready, and her hair is brushed because she's doing the card pull today. Everybody.
Yay.
Miss Addie's doing the card pull, and she knew to come in at 10:30. So we're going to tell Deidre, have a great morning.
Have a great morning.
And we're going to tell her, thank you for coming.
Thank you for coming.
And we'll see you soon. And for everybody else, we'll be back in a few minutes here with WLTKDB.com. And Addie's doing the card pull, guys.
Bye, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay, you want me now? Okay, guys, we are picking up cards today. This has been a minute. So she has picked out the cards. For everybody that does not know, this is Miss Addie. Okay.
Hello.
Hello, this is my grandbaby, my Nana baby, is what I call her, my Nana girl. Anyway, because she calls me Nana, she doesn't call me Grandma. So Addie is, because it is Memorial Day and she has got the day off, she is going to pull the cards for 5-card stud. And we're going to talk.
Today is Memorial Day for me. I have no school. I usually have school on Mondays, but we'll see you one.
Not today, huh?
There is no Memorial Days left.
That's it, huh? Just the one for the year?
Just one.
Mm-hmm. So we're going to let Addie pull the cards. So everybody, I work all day Wednesday. There you go. So, but basically what we're going to do, guys, for anybody that has not played 5-card stud with us before, we're using an Oracle card deck. And basically what's going to happen is you pick 1 card, 2 card, 4 cards, all 5 cards, whatever you want to do. This is your reading for the week. Okay.
I'm getting all the cards.
You're going to use all those? Well, we have to use whatever cards that come through. Okay. Addie picked the Moonology deck this week, guys. I told her pick whatever deck, and she picked the Moonology card. So pick card number 1. What's card number 1? So card number 1 is communication is key. What's communication mean? Does that mean talking? No, it doesn't match any of those.
It matches one.
Kind of, yeah. Let's leave this alone. So card number 1 is communication is key. Okay, and this is the card, first card. Hold on. Addie picked for today. You're gonna hold it up. And I'm gonna tell you what, if you pick card number 1, this is really about you learning to talk. You learning, and communication is not necessarily communicating with everybody else around you guys. Communication really comes from source. It comes from yourself. Learning to talk to yourself, learning that, you know what, you need to come in here and you need to draw this out of yourself first. So communicate, know what you want, know who you are. You need to start working on this. Card number 2. What is card number 2? Time for healing. Can you pull that up? See, put this up. Make it up so people can see it. Say, pop, time for healing.
Time for healing.
Yeah. So if you pick card number 2, this is your time. This is your time to go within. This is your time to go, you know what? And these cards are starting to make sense across the board too. But if you picked card number 2, time for healing, this is your time to kind of look within and go, okay, I need to start looking in here. What do I need? What do I need to do for myself? Card number 3, what is that? Adjustments are required. Can you show that to them? Adjustments are required. So if you pick card number 3, this is saying that, wait a second, I need to look at me and what do I need to change? What about me is no longer working and what do I need to change? And that's card number 3. Card number 4 is, let me read it. It's time to release negativity. What's time to release negativity? What's that mean? Let go of the negative stuff, huh?
Let go of the negative stuff.
That's right. And the last card for 5 cards done is hold your vision.
Hold your vision.
So does that mean when you see something that you want for yourself, hold on to that? Is that what that means?
I'm trying that because I can see it very well.
Yeah. So this really is about you looking at going, oh my God, I know this is what I want. This is what I want. You need to hold on to that, okay?
Is this number?
Card number 1 is communication is key. Card number 2 is, see it, time for healing. Card number 3 is adjustments are required.
Adjustments are required.
Number 4 is
It's time to release negativity.
and card number 5 is
Hold your vision.
there you go. So when you look at all 5 of these cards, if you're like me, and I know Tim there, you can have one extra one.
This is an extra one, which I actually pulled 6 cards because I wanted to have an extra one.
So it says, be bold and make the first move. That is so cool. And it makes so much sense, doesn't it? So when you're looking at all these
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yep. So when you're looking at all these cards and you're putting them together, this is your week that you are going within. You're looking at yourself. You're going, I need to dig this up. I need to find out what's going on. This is a week of healing for you guys. But you're going in to find out the healing within you. No. So basically what you're looking at is this isn't a, you know what, you're going in and you're saying, what do I need to change within me? What do I need? What I want this in life. What do I have to do to make this happen? And this is about healing, guys. This is about healing. But I think Addie was right when she said she needed the extra card. I mean, the little girl is gifted. It says, be bold to make the first move, which means you're the one that's got to do the work. Nobody else is going to do the work but you. Okay?
Yes.
Now, Addie wanted to pick a different deck because you guys know that we always pick a second card from the second deck. So we're going to do that. I'm going to put these up. You ready for those? Perfect. Can we get them out?
I just had to open it.
And the next card she wanted to pick was the Divine Feminine card. Now, we have not used these in a long time, guys. So, hey, Michael. So basically, I'm going to have her pull whatever pretty lady out of this deck. And we're going to talk about, because remember, this card is going to go with the rest of the cards, okay? So,
Open the page up.
open the page. Nani never uses the book. Pick a card, Dirt. Pick one card. Hey,
I picked 7 cards.
one card.
Big 7.
No, one card. Okay.
Can I pick
Ooh.
5?
Oh my gosh, guys. This is so fitting. It's the card she picked as that card, that the extra card for everything, is a white buffalo calf woman. The prophetess of the sacred way. My heart is a compass. The path of love is true abundance. Okay. There's so much more to this card. Honey, please don't. There's so much more to this card because the white buffalo calf woman, actually the story of her, when it comes into, especially when it comes to these cards that we picked for the first part of the reading, she always depicted to the Native American culture. Not all of them. It's actually only
I learned Native
certain
Americans.
you did. So, but she said that she would return, and she came to a vision, and she came to the people, and she came in the vision. She came as a white buffalo, born as a white buffalo. Okay, and that she would roll 4 times, representing 4 different colors. But those 4 different colors, she would say the buffalo would change those 4 different colors. And when she got to the last color, it was bringing all nations together, all people together. Okay, so this is a great time of healing. When she would come back, really, it would be about a great time of healing. Now, the prophecy has already come true. No, I mean, you can pull them. We're not going to talk about them. So the prophecy has already come true with her once, and she came through with a miracle, buffalo called Miracle in Janesville, Wisconsin, and Miracle has since passed away. But it's phenomenally beautiful how she does. And the cool thing about, not only is that card being pulled again, but another white buffalo has just been born in Wyoming over this last week. And it's very rare to have a true white buffalo born. Okay. So, which is pretty magical, guys. So I'm going to tell you, this card represents a lot, especially when you're looking at the last cards that were pulled, and we're looking at the healing and the changes and finding your own way. So pretty beautiful that that's the card Addie would pick. What did you pick for extra cards? She's got, I'm one with my soul. My soul is a legacy of love. And we'll read this one. It says, I am pure strength. I honor my anger by giving voice to it. Okay. Okay. I give endless because the light is without end. My soul is all I need. And what's the last one? It's, Bridget. I love Bridget. I am an eternal flame, and each day my light grows brighter. So beautiful. Those are the cards and the wisdom of Addie, because Addie is phenomenal. I love this little girl, and she's so gifted and so talented. It's unbelievable.
Yes,
The fact that her parents let her come in and do this with me is even more beautiful and phenomenal. So, we're going to wrap it up today, guys, because it is Memorial Week, everybody. Oh, we need to talk about the shows, don't we? We need to talk about these shows. We need to bring them up. And I know it's in here someplace because I download it every week. And what do I do with it? I get rid of it every week. And I don't even know why I do that. Is it in the downloads? It is in the downloads a few times. So let's bring it up. The shows that we have for the week, guys, right after us at noon is going to be Michael, Christopher, and Jen, No Agenda with Mike and Jen. Tonight is Be the Change with Christina Bloom at 8 p.m. Both amazing shows. Tomorrow morning, we start with Exploring the Paranormal with Heather Lee at 9 a.m. And that's Dr. Heather Lee. Ane with Ane Shin is at 5 p.m. Unfiltered with me and Mike is at 6 p.m. And God bless, nothing gets in the way that we can do that show this week, because the last 3 weeks we haven't been able to come on. And then right after that, it's Moment to Moment with Linda Hope at 7 p.m. Talking with Spirits Are Talking with Lisa Silverman is at 9 p.m. And Paranormal Pete with Pete Orbea is at 10 p.m. Now, Wednesdays, we do start the morning with the Self-Care Show with DJ Sanford at 10 a.m. The Psychic Hour with Kelly Brickles at 3. May 31st, which is this week, guys, Soul Guides with Roddy Blood starts. And that's at 6 p.m. Haunted Locations in 60 Minutes with Nick Sarlo and Diana Henry is at 8 p.m. Nick is probably at Great America right now. Who knows? See and Beyond with Kelly Eckhart and Cheryl Murphy is at 9 p.m. Another phenomenal show. Thursdays, we start with Chat with Charlie with Stephanie Lynn at 9 a.m. Universe with Stephanie and Rob is at 6 p.m. Realm of Darkness with Ashley Moreno is at 7 p.m. And by the way, guys, Ashley's going to be one of my guests over this next month. Passport to Paranormal with Dr. Heather Lee and Joe Frank starts in June, and that'll be at 9 p.m. when it does start. Voice of Oneness with Amara Bonet is at 10 p.m. Starting our Friday morning is Soul and Synergy Radio with Terry and Danny at 10 a.m. The Psychic Hour reading show is at 3 p.m. on Friday. Twilight Tonight with DeEtte Moonflyers at 6 p.m. and Haunted Voices with Todd Bates and Nicole Strickland is at 10 p.m. That is our show lineup. That's what we do. We're always got more coming, guys. And as always, guys, if you want to advertise, if you have a business, you want to advertise, please, please, please reach out to WLKDB.com. Fill out the form, send it in. Remember, your advertisements stay with our podcast forever. We don't get rid of those. We leave those in. So you're paying for the current, but they're staying there for life. Okay. As long as our podcasts are up and going, you're going to find them there. And as always, guys, if you want to show, if you have a voice, please, 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 again, WLTKDB.com. We're always looking for new shows, new voices, new platforms. Let's make this happen. And if you've missed this show, if you come to this point and you're like, oh my God, I missed the show, go to the archives, guys. Go to the podcast because, again, we are on Podbean Radio. This show itself, you can find it on Podbean Radio, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Audible, Amazon Music, Spotify. Oh my gosh, if there's a podcast forum, you're going to find me there. And please click on subscribe. Let us know you're watching. Let us know you're downloading because honestly, guys, that is what keeps fueling me. As long as there's downloads happening and people showing up, I know I'm making a difference. I know I'm making a change. I'm giving a voice to people and answering so many questions. So please, please, please go out there, hit the subscribe button. Let us know you're there. It's a beautiful forum. Now, next week, I have Miss Lindsay on, and she is our hypno-fertility lady. She was supposed to be on last month, was in April. It just was not happening, unfortunately, but we are making it happen. It is June 5th that she is coming on, Lindsay Hypno-Fertility, which is going to be just a really good subject, a really, really phenomenal good subject. So come on in, say hi. Okay, everybody. I will see you guys hopefully tomorrow night, but either way, I'll definitely see you next week. This has been DeEtte here on School Through Spirit with WLTKDB.com. Don't forget, Addie did the card pull this week. So, see you guys soon. Bye-bye, guys.
The truth is here and now on WLTKDB Talk Radio at WLTKDB.com.